and carries his thought through. Right at the moment with us from the Aam Aadmi Party, we have our old friend, the working president of the Aam Aadmi Party, Mumbai, our dear friend Ruben Mascarenhas. Ruben साहब नमस्कार.
नमस्कार नमस्कार आरके भी, नमस्कार प्रदीप जी. हम देख रहे हैं आपने आपका जो फकीर गेटअप है, आपने उसको त्याग कर आप अभी बहुत
फकीर से कोई लेना नहीं है.
यंग तरुण आपका चेहरा चमक रहा है. तो क्या है राज, क्या है इसके पीछे? बजट का इफेक्ट, उल्टा इफेक्ट हो गया आपके ऊपर, ऐसे कुछ हुआ है?
सर घर वाले सब पीछे पड़ गए कि भैया ये दाढ़ी काटिए, अब जरा त्याग दीजिए इसको. ठीक है भाई, जैसा लोग कहें. तो रूबन साहब आज ही आई वाज सो हैप्पी. दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट ने आज एक पीएमएलए के अक्यूज्ड को, जो जेल में थे बेचारे, उनको आज बेल दी है, कोटिंग द बेल ऑर्डर ऑफ अरविंद केजरीवाल बाय द सुप्रीम कोर्ट.
मैंने देखा.
तो मतलब माशाल्लाह सर, क्या बात है. मतलब उनके केस में जो उनको बेल मिला, उसकी बिना पर एक और शख्स को बेल मिल गई, जमानत मिल गई. और केजरीवाल साहब अभी भी जेल में.
बिल्कुल
सर, ये क्या है सर? मतलब मेरी समझ के बाहर है. व्हाट इज गोइंग ऑन यार?
No, but we must understand that the only person who has ever got bail on merits in the PMLA under Section 45 is Arvind Kejriwal, as far as a politician is concerned. And despite the fact that he got bail, he couldn't walk out scot-free. So I think the very fact that the only person who's ever got bail could not walk out of jail itself speaks volumes of how draconian and I would dare say, is actually unconstitutional given our jurisprudence here in India. But that said, let me reiterate that when a person gets bail under Section 45, it is as good as a certificate of innocence.
That's right.
Because the bar is so high when it comes to bail. You have a twin condition, which is one is that the person concerned who's being given the bail should not go out and repeat the same offense. And second, that prima facie, the judge is convinced that the person is actually innocent. And I think what we've seen is in the trial court, we saw the trial court pronouncing bail. You saw the same being paused even without the bail order. I mean, this is unheard of. What the Delhi High Court
without the bail order having been uploaded, it was paused.
Absolutely.
That's the first time I have heard.
It is the first time. No, it's the first time in independent India, sir. As a practicing advocate, I can stick my neck out and say that this is the first time in independent India that you actually have a bail order being paused without the bail order actually being there. Which means that the High Court judge didn't even bother to look at the application of mind of the judge with regards to what was the reason under which those particular orders were actually given.
And the trial court, that is a special court, which is by the way the special PMLA court, the Rouse Avenue court, they actually said there is a bias against Arvind Kejriwal. It says so very clearly in the order. तो अब ये आगे क्या सर? अब आप ये बताएं आगे क्या? अब केजरीवाल साहब जेल में हैं, सिसोदिया साहब अभी तक जेल में हैं, सत्येंद्र जैन अभी तक जेल में हैं. चलिए, ये तो बड़े बड़े करप्शन के केस हो गए. ओहो 100 करोड़, पता नहीं कितने करोड़ वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह. 100 करोड़ तो वैसे बहुत छोटा था अमाउंट लगता है आजकल, considering the figures which are being bandied about all over the place. Why is Bibhav Kumar still in jail? थप्पड़ मारने पे जेल में. अगर मान भी लिया जाए कि उन्होंने थप्पड़ मारा, why is he still in jail? सर, यहां तो तेनी साहब के बेटे को बेल मिल जाती है आफ्टर किलिंग गॉड नोस हाउ मेनी पीपल. सर बताएं प्लीज.
सर देखिए, बीजेपी को, आम आदमी पार्टी को कैसे भी करके खत्म करना है, वो हमें राजनीतिक रूप से खत्म नहीं कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि बीजेपी को डिफीट करने वाली अगर कोई पार्टी है कंसिस्टेंटली अपने स्टेट लेवल पे, अपने एमसीडी लेवल पे, वो है आम आदमी पार्टी. दैट इज पॉइंट 1. पॉइंट 2 इज, आप देखें कि चाहे वो ईडी हो, चाहे वो सीबीआई हो, चाहे कोई भी एजेंसीज हो, ये सारे एजेंसीज का दुरुपयोग करके कैसे भी करके विपक्ष के लीडरों को अरेस्ट किया जाता है. और ये पहले क्या होता है कि पहले इन्वेस्टिगेशन होनी चाहिए, आफ्टर प्रिलिमिनरी इन्वेस्टिगेशन देन यू से दैट यू हैव इनफ मटेरियल एंड देन यू प्रोसीड फॉर द अरेस्ट। यहाँ पे उल्टा होता है। होता यह है कि उनको उनके राजनीतिक आकाओं से कोई कॉल आता है और कहते हैं कि नहीं, यू हैव टू टॉर्चर दिस पर्सन, यू हैव टू समहाउ अरेस्ट दिस पर्सन, एंड देन दे विल हैव टू थिंक एज टू अरे इस पे क्या बनेगा नहीं बनेगा एंड एक्सेट्रा। व्हाट मिस्टर PSG Raju and Tushar Mehta, the Solicitor General, have done in the Supreme Court and rather various courts with regards to arguing the government position is basically a disservice to democracy as a whole and Indian democracy in particular.
And jurisprudence.
Absolutely. And it is
injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. That's the maxim, and that's exactly what happened.
Absolutely, and PMLA, again I repeat, was meant to be used against drug cartels, was meant to be used against terror funding, which was transnational. This was again in compliance with an international treaty of the United Nations that India was essentially a signatory to. तो ये सब कुछ जिस तरीके से rather than being used on the objects that it was actually meant for, ये अभी विपक्ष के पीछे एक प्रताड़ना की तरह उनको प्रताड़ित करने के लिए ये उनके पीछे छोड़ दिया है, और ये विपक्ष को एक तरफ से इनको खत्म ही करना है। और खासकर विपक्ष में अगर कोई विपक्षी पार्टी इनको खलती है तो वो आम आदमी पार्टी, और आम आदमी पार्टी में को देखो जिस तरीके से उन्होंने दिल्ली में GNCTD अमेंडमेंट उन्होंने लाया। दिस वाज टू सर्कमवेंट सुप्रीम कोर्ट से एक आदेश आया कि सर्विसेज दिल्ली सरकार के अधीन है, लेकिन ये वापस से मोदी सरकार को ये नहीं पचा और उन्होंने वापस से GNCTD का अमेंडमेंट लाया, which is still sub judice in the Supreme Court. There's not been a constitution bench which is basically been constituted for this particular matter to be referred to.
Which is sad. Which is sad.
But long story short is whatever in whatever manner this process played out, it clearly was at a disadvantage of the Aam Aadmi Party. Today, the LG, rather than helping the government with regards to its public service delivery, is basically behaving as a BJP leader. It's like the LG's house is converted into the BJP office. It's a BJP Pradesh Karyalay. And what the LG does is to merely create obstacles. Forget even holding the government accountable. The LG Saxena just wants to do whatever he can in his power to somehow obstruct whatever good work that the Delhi government is doing. And if you notice today, let me finish. No, Pradeep ji, 1 minute. Let me finish. Just today, if you notice, in Parliament, there was a discussion. There was an MP, Mr. John Brittis of the CPM, I believe, who was introducing a bill to discuss the scope of the powers of the governor and essentially limited to only what is being constitutionally provided for.
In the Rajya
So,
Sabha.
and can you imagine what happened? The BJP galvanized against this to oppose it, as though to shamelessly say in Parliament in front of everyone, to basically say that, hey, we will misuse the governors. The governors are essentially puppets. They are not constitutional functionaries. To hell with what the Constitution says, to hell with what anybody else may think. We are going to do this brazenly because we're going to get away with it. This is the shameless arrogance that the Modi government, I would have thought, would have learned from with regards to, would rather correct when it came to its drubbing that it received across the Lok Sabha elections when the results came in. I would have thought that we would see a much more practical, a much more humble Prime Minister who takes people along, but that's clearly not the case. I was just telling someone the other day, it is foolish to even expect कि ये व्यर्थ होगा कि उनसे हम अपेक्षा करें कि वो अपने आप को ठीक तरीके से वो कुछ मिड टर्म करेक्शन करे. They are not going to do any mid term correction. All of this support basically came to him because people thought he was invincible. ये support कोई हिंदुत्व का वोट नहीं है.
But he says that it's a fight against corruption. He says zero tolerance where corruption is concerned. That is what Prime Minister Modi says. Zero tolerance corruption. और जो जनता के पैसे एक पैसे मैं जनता को वापस दिला के रहूंगा, ये मोदी जी का कसम है, मोदी जी का वादा है.
मुझे बताइए, पिछले हफ्ते जब अमित शाह आए थे बंबई में, उन्होंने जब भाषण वगैरह दिया, और अमित शाह ने जब डिस्कशन की इसके बारे में, महाराष्ट्र पॉलिटिक्स के बारे में, उन्होंने कहा कि शरद पवार हैज इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइज्ड करप्शन. Okay, Sharad Pawar is institutionalized corruption, then Ajit Pawar is not a beneficiary of that institutionalized corruption. Wasn't he part of that institutionalized corruption? How can you so shamelessly say that on one hand the NCP, SP is responsible for corruption, but the NCP, Ajit Pawar is not responsible for corruption? I mean, how shamelessly Devendra Fadnavis and the BJP actually picked up the irrigation scam, something which we picked up, which happened when Ajit Pawar was basically finance minister, Ajit Pawar was irrigation minister, and it is on that basis that he actually became chief minister. He actually became a chief minister basis that, and now he expects people to suddenly believe. See, आज भी मैं ये दोहराता हूँ कि अरविंद जी जैसे हमेशा कहते हैं कि आज भी अगर अरविंद जी बीजेपी में शामिल होते हैं, अगर मनीष जी बीजेपी में शामिल होते हैं, सत्येंद्र जैन जी बीजेपी में शामिल होते हैं, विजय नायर जी बीजेपी में शामिल होते हैं, तो सारे इनके केसेस लोग भूल जाएंगे. तो ये कोई करप्शन के खिलाफ कोई जंग नहीं है ये. और अगर बात करते हैं मुंबई, you see Ravindra Vaikar shamelessly, I mean, I was told that the ED officer actually went to Mr. Vaikar's flat and actually told him कि no, either BJP or Shinde Sena, or else you basically have to be imprisoned. I mean, this is the shameless, naked pursuit of power at all costs, irrespective of what the rules say, irrespective of what the law says under this Modi regime.
You know, but what Prime Minister Modi is justifying what he does, he says, आपका शराब घोटाला, आपका भ्रष्टाचार, आपका क्लासरूम घोटाला, आपका पानी घोटाला, शिकायत करने वाला कांग्रेस, मोदी जी ने एक्शन लिया और अब आप मोदी जी को गाली दे रहे हो, मोदी जी को कोस रहे हो, कोर्ट प्रोसेस मोदी जी ने शुरू कर दिया. दैट इज व्हाट ही क्लेम्स. आपका घोटाला कांग्रेस ने एक्सपोज कर दिया, मोदी ने एक्शन लिया.
नहीं, आई मीन ये क्या कह रहे हैं महाराष्ट्र की जनता? ये छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज की भूमि है, ये डॉक्टर बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर की भूमि है, ये राजर्षि फुले की भूमि है, महात्मा फुले की भूमि है, यहाँ पे ये संतों की भूमि है. तो यहाँ पे लोग जो है बहुत ही जागरूक है और लोग देख सकते हैं. लेट मी again bring everybody's attention to the fact that Devendra Fadnavis and the BJP are extremely hated figures across Maharashtra. If you ask me, whatever uncertainty there may be in Maharashtra politics, the one certainty is that people hate the BJP across the length and breadth of the state. Okay, ये धारणा मुंबई करों में बहुत ही गहरी रूप से ये पहुंच गई है. और आप तो मतलब you actually work with people on the ground, you know this better than me. आप किसी को भी पूछ लो कि ये प्राथमिकता बीजेपी किसको देती है, तो वो कहते हैं कि ये भाजपा, ये महाराष्ट्र प्राथमिक दल नहीं है, और यहाँ पे उनको मुंबई करों की पड़ी नहीं है, मुंबई की प्राथमिकता के बारे में पड़ी नहीं है. उनको कैसे भी करके मुंबई को खत्म करना है, महाराष्ट्र को खत्म करना है, मुंबई का जो स्थान है एज आर्थिक राजधानी ये खत्म करना है, और सारा जो कुछ मुंबई को आना चाहिए वो गुजरात ले जाता है. हमको कोई गुजरात में डेवलपमेंट हो रहा, विकास हो रहा है, हमको कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. लेकिन जो महाराष्ट्र की चीज है, जो व्हाट इज मेंट फॉर मुंबई, आप मुंबई को दो. तो ये फीलिंग इज डेफिनेटली देयर. और आपने देखा जिस तरीके से बीएमसी चल रही है, एज ऑफ 1 जनवरी, सर लेट मी ड्रॉ योर अटेंशन टू दिस. एज ऑफ 1 जनवरी देयर इज नॉट अ सिंगल सिटी, एक भी ऐसा शहर नहीं है पूरे महाराष्ट्र में, एक भी ऐसा म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन नहीं है जहां पे पब्लिक रिप्रेजेंटेशन हो. कुछ जगह, फॉर एग्जांपल इन नवी मुंबई में तो 5 साल हो गए सर, 5 साल हो गए इलेक्शन हुए नवी मुंबई में, 5 साल हो गए, औरंगाबाद में 5 साल हो गए. दैट मींस वन एंटायर टर्म गेट्स डन.
और मुंबई के बीएमसी में 2.5 साल हो गए.
मुंबई के बीएमसी में 2.5 साल हो गए. दिस इज द 3rd ईयर. यू आर एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. तीसरा साल खत्म हो जाएगा नेक्स्ट फरवरी में. खुलेआम लूट मची है. लोधा जी जो खुद एक बिल्डर है, उनको लोगों की पड़ी नहीं है, उनको केवल उनके प्रोजेक्ट के बारे में पड़ी है, उनके लैंड ग्रैब के बारे में पड़ी है. वो लिटरली, आई मीन, आई एम टोल्ड दैट, okay, I'll tell this on television. I am told that there is nothing that actually is happening at ward offices. जब आम जनता त्रस्त थी तो वो अपने नगर सेवक के पास जाती थी. They would go to the corporate and say कि no, you're the elected representative closest to the people. Please do something. Please go and get the BMC to function. अभी कुछ नहीं है. अभी तो केवल the entire BMC, I dare say, is basically nothing but they're into a money making racket. They know, and the state government, तो पहले तो state government knows कि उनकी सरकार नहीं आ रही है. आरकेपी साहब, मैं मंत्रालय गया था, without taking names, वहां पे तो लूट मतलब चरम पे पहुंच गई है. They are convinced that they are not contesting. So if you actually check their rate cards, the rate cards got published in the newspaper. They are shamelessly passing all the proposals that they can pass while they are there. Okay, just breaking all the possible rules that they can. I mean, this is nothing but loot of the next level. We have our public debt spiraling. It's unsustainable beyond the point. But all that we actually care, sadly, or rather, all that
So
the
what is
government actually
happening as far
cares
as Delhi is
is
concerned?
organized loot.
So what is happening as far as Delhi is concerned? Delhi
So
में
three things. Number one, 29 July को जो सुनवाई है, with regards to the hearing had been reserved with regards to the bail in the CBI matter. I am confident, I'm reasonably confident, we have complete faith in the Constitution of India. We have complete faith in the Indian judicial system. And irrespective of however delay and frustrating it might feel, we are confident that on 29th, Arvind Kejriwal will be released on bail. And that will be the beginning of the end of the Modi Sarkar. And I don't think the Modi Sarkar will
मनीष
last its
सिसोदिया
full
साहब
term.
की जो जुडिशियल कस्टडी है वो आगे कर दी गई है 31 जुलाई तक. अभी आज there has been
No, I think once Arvind is out on bail, I think the case has collapsed in court. There is absolutely no trial that has started.
and I
Remember,
have
this
one
is a
more which is fine. I hope it happens irrespective of whichever way. I mean, I feel very sad that somebody like Manish is in jail, and what Manish achieved with regard to schools is brilliant, bloody brilliant. I mean, I think he deserves the highest award that the government of India has to give him. Very unfortunately, the only award he's got is that he's been in jail for over 2.5 years. Now, there's one other thing which is somewhat troubling. It has now been proven, or it has been stated in the Supreme Court, in the documents which were provided there in the Supreme Court in a different case, and Saurabh Bhardwaj actually said this in one of his press conferences, that our Honorable Lieutenant Governor actually had, I think, over 100 odd trees cut in
thousand. 1,000.
1,000 पेड़ कटवा दिए उन्होंने रिज पे. The ridge is protected area, and he's claiming immunity. He's the LG. He's not the governor. What's going on, sir?
Sir, I would just like to draw your attention. आपने बहुत बढ़िया मुद्दा उठाया, और जब इस चीज में जब अदालत में बहस चल रही थी, तो can you imagine the judge wasn't ready to believe what the LG said on affidavit. He said कि हमें विश्वास नहीं है. आपने इतनी inconsistency की है. And this is literally the High Court, and the judge says that I am going to go and visit the spot. And when he went and visited the spot, clearly what the LG was saying was false. Clearly what the LG is doing is basically do the BJP's work, and not even constitutionally. I think it's okay maybe.
In fact, just to remind the viewers, LG साहब ने पेड़ काटने का ऑर्डर दे दिया. जब ये मसला कोर्ट में पहुंचा, because a couple of NGOs went to the court because they protect trees. These guys, what they did was they backdated an order.
Yes.
के पेड़ काट दिए जाएं. My point is, how can this man remain the Lieutenant Governor? That's what I want to know. He's been caught red-handed. He's been caught lying, and the court has said so. I am not saying it. The court has said it.
नहीं सर, ये मोदी 3.0 का राज है. यहाँ पे अधर्म की इनकी सरकार तो है ही, साथ ही साथ चोरी खुलेआम हो रही है. और जो भाजपा के नेता हैं और जो भाजपा के अपॉइंटेड जो भी ये गवर्नर है, वो केवल गवर्नर के पद के गरिमा को अपमान करके, उसका दुरुपयोग करके, जो सरकार उस राज्य में चल रही है उसको कैसे भी करके उसका काम पूरी तरीके से कैसे ठप हो, उसी में लगे हुए हैं. और ये अपने आप में इट इज एन एक्सट्रीमली सैड थिंग कि एक डेमोक्रेसी में हमें ये देखने को मिल रहा है.
You know, Raghav Chadha today very highlighted in the parliament that we are paying the taxes like the way the Britishers pay, the England pay, and we are getting the services like Somalia gets. तो ये comparison जो है, it was accepted everywhere that this is right. जो पैसे हम दे रहे हैं, जो टैक्स में हम लोग पे रहे हैं, जो रिकवरी हमसे टैक्स के हो रहे हैं, एंड सर्विसेज हमको सोमालिया की सर्विसेज मिल रहे हैं. दैट्स अ वेरी वेल Explain the thing in one short sentence. Yeah, Govinji.
So RKB, something very interesting happened. This morning I was, in the rickshaw going to Andheri station, going on my way to court, and the rickshaw wala was a little upset and he was grumbling and mumbling. So I asked him, "Kya ho gaya?" And he's like, "महंगाई को देखो, बजट ने देखो क्या कर दिया, सब कुछ और महंगा हो गया, मोदी जी क्या कर रहे हैं?" तो उन्होंने ऐसा मुझे कहा, तो मैंने जस्ट आई वाज वेरी पीक, तो मैंने पूछा कि व्हाई यू सेइंग दिस? तो उन्होंने पता है कि बजट की उन्होंने सबसे सटीक टिप्पणी तो उन्होंने की। उन्होंने कहा कि बजट कैसे बनाए सर? ऐसे लगता है कि मोदी जी को लगता है कि केवल 4 लोग देश में रहते हैं, केवल 4 लोग देश में रहते हैं, 2 लोग देश को बेच रहे हैं और 2 लोग देश को खरीद रहे हैं, बस बाकी आप मैं सारे लोग बिल्कुल है नहीं। इट इज essentially a budget which is focused on the ruling political class by the BJP and on the ruling large business houses. There is absolutely no focus on employment. There is no focus on entrepreneurship. There is no focus on how do you exactly boost the economy with sector-specific interventions. This is not something which just monetary policy can basically solve.
So what is your opinion about the apprenticeship scheme brought in by the Modi government? That seems to be their flagship scheme.
But I think but let's look at whatever the Modi's previous track record with flagship schemes are. क्या हो गया Startup India? क्या Startup India भी लॉन्च उनकी flagship scheme थी तभी, उसके बारे में कोई डिस्कशन नहीं होता कि Startup India से क्या हुआ, उसके बारे में क्या हुआ. There is no discussion on that. Smart India, smart city, 100 smart cities. कौन सा सिटी स्मार्ट हुआ? आरकेबी साहब आप जानते हैं, नवी मुंबई स्मार्ट हुआ, मुंबई स्मार्ट हुआ, पुणे स्मार्ट हुआ. प्रदीप जी आप नासिक स्मार्ट होता हुआ दिखा आपको? कुछ नहीं. सारे फंड यूटिलाइज हुए, सिटी पता नहीं स्मार्ट तो क्या, मतलब मुझे तो लगता है कि बद से बदतर हो गया. Our cities in India are crumbling. Our cities are the only engines of economic growth, and we can't even, despite paying taxes like, as you rightly pointed out, we pay taxes like a first world country, but we basically get services like a third world.
Somalia, that's what Raghav Chadha said. But Modi साहब कह रहे हैं कि हर वर्ग को हमने empower किया. युवा सशक्तिकरण, 2.9 crore youngsters are going to get the jobs by 3 schemes that Prime Minister Modi has introduced. 500 companies are going to train the students coming out from the rural areas, out of the colleges, and they from the rural areas से top companies का उनको training मिलेगा. And assured जो है ना, 1 साल तक जिस प्रकार से उन्होंने कहा कि internship हम देंगे 5,000, तो don't you think that ये सब will drive the economy?
नहीं प्रदीप जी, कहाँ से आंकड़े आ रहे हैं? अभी आपने कहा कि कुछ 500 कंपनीज में each company is going to, if you just do the math, are you saying that each of the companies is going to give 20,000 internships? Really? And are we saying that beyond Infosys and TCS and Wipro, there are other companies which can give 20,000 internships? क्या बात कर रहे हैं? कि 20,000 क्या तो 1,000 internships देख के देखो यार. I mean, what are we talking about? What these numbers are, I don't know. What are these people been high on, or what have they been smoking? But it just doesn't make practical sense. There is no push. And I repeat.
No, but why would a private company agree to take on so many interns or apprentices?
See, I'll explain this to you, sir. I also happen to be an engineer in addition to being a law graduate. And as an engineer, I still remember when I joined an MNC, as soon as I was out of college through campus recruitment. I remember that the first thing that we were told was, and I came from one of the better colleges in India, and I was told point blank that, hey, there is a huge skill gap between what skills you think you have and what skills that you've been taught in college as part of your curriculum, and what the government, what the market actually needs. So there's a huge gap between that. And imagine there is no focus on upskilling people. There is no focus on bringing curriculum to an acceptable level when it can be compared with regards to global standards, right? None of that is essentially happening. All we can see is these hackneyed solutions, which are nothing but cut, copy, paste, without real thinking, without real intent. And I think that is a problem, that the government really lacks intent to do something. It's not about the government having the right intent. What we are seeing is nothing but crony capitalism to the next level. What we are seeing is jobless growth, even if there is some growth. what we are seeing is unemployment rates at an all-time high. What we are seeing is a decrease when it comes to manufacturing. The next crore jobs are not going to come from service industry. The service industry is already saturated. The next 1 crore jobs will come from the manufacturing industry. And when it comes to the manufacturing industry, there is no focused attempt of increasing manufacturing when we speak in India. If anything else, if you actually look at the numbers, if you look at the economic survey, manufacturing has actually reduced. A bulk of what we are seeing with regards to economic growth is led by in the last 5 years has been led by government spending, in public sector spending, and then we would have expected that the private sector follows suit, which to some extent it has.
So is this another Agniveer scheme? Is that it?
I think all that we can see is Agniveer 2.0, 3.0, many point ohs. I really hope and pray that.
All I am asking is this. Which are these 500 companies that will actually participate in giving 1 crore apprenticeships over 5 years? Which are these 500 companies? I really would love to know.
Absolutely. You're bang on. I said other than Infosys and Wipro, I could just count 4. Other than Infosys, Wipro, maybe to some extent TCS, and even 20,000 is the stretch. You know, the entire employee strength is 40,000, 45,000. And so, where are they suddenly going to get an apprentice? Where is the where do they have the infrastructure to do it? What has been thought about? Kuch nahi. This is some random thing, and the number comes up to 20,000. 20,000 per, and I could just count 5. Okay, maybe if you I pardon my ignorance, maybe they are 10. तो वो 40 कंपनीज और कहाँ है? ये क्या कहाँ से ये तो ऐसा हो गया कि मोदी जी वो कहते हैं ना कि झूठ बोलो, झूठ को
Or could it be? No, I'm asking you this. No, hang on a minute. Could it be this is some bureaucrat's bright idea because you've got Fortune 500 companies, so you decided to say 500 companies here. वो 500 जो है वो Fortune 500 से आया शायद, जहां तक मेरा ख्याल है. Forgetting the fact that Fortune 500 companies में साथ हिंदुस्तानी कंपनियां कितनी हैं? 5, 6, 7 मैक्सिमम.
सर यहाँ पे हार्वर्ड और हार्डवर्क को कंफ्यूज किया जाता है
जी.
जहाँ पे
हार्वर्ड में हार्डवर्क नहीं होता.
नहीं, मुझे एक चीज कहनी है कि यू नो द बिगेस्ट ट्रेंड दैट वी हैव एज अ पॉपुलेशन is that we are the largest English speaking population in the world.
Yes.
And why would we want to leave that advantage? Like, why would we suddenly want to look down upon it? We should be proud of the fact. And yes, we are victims of colonialism, but we should own the English language, and that the Indian English is by far, I think, it's intelligible to everybody. Nobody has ever said कि अरे आपने English में बात की और हमें समझ में नहीं आया. So that said, it's a very powerful.
The biggest advantage we have in the global market.
And absolutely, it is the language of global business. And yes. And what we actually see is something the other way around, especially when we talk about the national education policy in some aspects, right? So long story short, coming back, I think budget.
Just don't move from there. English language. Have you managed to read the new criminal procedure code which has come out?
Yes, I have. It's a cut, copy, paste of the previous, including the illustrations are the same as the IPCR. थोड़ा काट छाट करके थोड़ा IPC को चेंज करके.
तो वो हिंदी में, अब तो हिंदी में है सारे.
न्याय संहिता.
हाँ, तो वो न्याय संहिता जो है अब आपको याद हो गई है? मतलब कौन सा सेक्शन कहाँ पे लगता है, याद है कि नहीं?
नहीं, एक्चुअली मे बी सेक्शंस थोड़े ऊपर नीचे हो गए, लेकिन उसका रीजनिंग सेम है, आईपीसी की तरह ही रीजनिंग है. तो मे बी थोड़ा बहुत उनको मार्जिनल, अभी आप यकीन नहीं करेंगे, द इलस्ट्रेशंस आर आल्सो द सेम एंड द मिस्टेक्स इन द इलस्ट्रेशंस आर आल्सो द सेम. मतलब कि क्या कट कॉपी पेस्ट किया है.
थोड़ा सा बजट में कम बैक टू द बजट. स्टूडेंट्स के लिए तो आप मोदी साहब स्टूडेंट्स के लिए 10 लाख सपोर्ट है स्टूडेंट्स इन डोमेस्टिक एजुकेशन. Standard deductions increase for the middle class. Middle class के लिए slab rates भी change किए. Skill training for 20 lakh youth. मुद्रा लोन 10 लाख से 20 लाख. He says this will promote the MSMEs. जो छोटे-छोटे उद्योग जो करना चाहते हैं उनको हम promote करें. तो you don't think all these schemes are really going to help uplifting the economy? And he says 6.5 to 7, and the IMF says 7%, the World Bank says 7%, all the international credit rating agencies says India is the fastest growing economy. How do you see that?
But I'm again repeating that our fastest growing economy with a demographic dividend will turn into a demographic nightmare if we end up becoming old before we become rich. ये सब कुछ जो आप देख रहे हैं, I mean, even my generation, when we start becoming old, and let's say we've not been able to pull our millions out of poverty, and if we don't focus singularly on that, if we don't focus singularly on job creation, India will never be able to.
Then we really will become Somalia.
Ranks of.
Then we really will become Somalia, right?
Then we will really become Somalia. That's point number one. Point number two is, where is the focus on jobs? If you want your 20 million jobs, you create your 1 million entrepreneurs. The 1 million entrepreneurs will create the 20 million jobs. But there is no focus on creating the 1 million entrepreneurs. There is no focus on making capital available. What you are seeing, okay, let's assume what you are saying. I am a student of economics. So let's say you are saying 6.5 to 7% growth. The 6.5 to 7% growth is again jobless growth, even if there is growth. So what use is the jobless growth where the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer? But even basics, I mean, we've regressed as a society, as a country. If the unemployment rate is much higher now than it was during the Cold War and at the end of the Cold War.
The focus on skill training. The focus on skill training. 20 lakh youth are going to be into skill training.
नहीं, but you tell me, Pradeep जी, कि आप मुझे एक ऐसा बीजेपी का एक स्टेट बता दो जहाँ पे ये स्किल ट्रेनिंग उन्हें करके दिखाओ. जैसे आम आदमी पार्टी हम कहते हैं ना कि दिल्ली में हमने मोहल्ला क्लिनिक बनाए, दिल्ली में हमने स्कूल शानदार बनाए, हमने वहां पे दिखाया कि अच्छे स्तर की शिक्षा कैसे मास लेवल पे बच्चों को दी जाती है. We've demonstrated that. Can we ask the BJP? Can you show us which state you've been able to do this? Which state you've been able to show that skilling can actually be provided in such a way? So I'm just saying all of these things may sound good, but I think, and let's not forget, the budget was so bad that the BJP so-called troll army has stopped defending it. So can you imagine the levels of anger? कि यहाँ पे तो भाजपा ही खुद बोलते हैं यार ये तो बहुत हो गया, चाहे वो लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल गेन्स टैक्स हो या the very fact when it comes to I mean savings should be incentivized, entrepreneurship should be incentivized. यहाँ पे तो उल्टा हो रहा है. यहाँ पे तो it looks like as a middle class person, I mean my family, I mean I'm sure all of us come from middle class families. I saw my father work very hard. I saw how with great difficulty we grew up the social order, with great difficulty my parents slogged so hard to provide us a great education, a chance at life, and suddenly we now see that this middle class, which is supported the BJP to a very large extent, has actually been penalized. Right, so first of all, there's no link in the taxes that people pay and the facilities that people give us. And on the second hand, there is no incentive for saving. There is no incentive for investment.
Why are you against the Ladli Bahin scheme? Why are you against the Ladli Bhau scheme? People are
against it.
The Gulabi Rickshaw scheme where women are going to be taught to drive the rickshaws.
Pradeep ji, ऐसा हो गया कि जब हम इस चीज की बात करते हैं, then there was a discussion that the BJP cried, oh, this is fiscally imprudent, ये तो नहीं होगा, ये तो गलत है, people will become lazy, वगैरह वगैरह.
रेवड़ी, आप रेवड़ी बांट रहे हो.
BJP खुद रेवड़ी. I don't see it as रेवड़ी, but I am saying that the BJP is so hypocritical, is so shameless that when they do something that is supposed to be taken as a gospel truth, and when the opposition does it, they would label them as anti-national, go to that particular extent and do whatever it is in their power to discredit them. So, long story short, what we have seen is pathetic. The budget doesn't consider the problems of the Aam Aadmi, of how difficult it is to even live out a dignified existence in our cities, how inflation is eating away at the real purchasing power of our money when it comes to our economy.
But you think this, what Pradeep ji asked you, Ruben Saab, what Pradeep ji asked you, do you think this Ladki Bahin or Ladla Bhau, this scheme will work? Do you think the state has that much of money?
Because Modi ji 5,000 दे रहे हैं, Shinde साहब 10,000 दे रहे हैं graduates को. 10,000 that is promised. 8,000 for the diploma holders,
there is,
and 6,000 for the 12th
sir,
class.
there are two things. Just as the Modi Sarkar is known as Joomlas, they will announce one thing and they will do completely another thing. Okay. And here also, I was in Mantralaya the other day. I was having a chat with a very senior IS officer. I won't name the person's name. And I said, "Ki, अरे ये सब कुछ हो रहा है, universal income, this, that, etc. It's sounding good, but where is the money going to come from? And will you actually be able to dole out, implement this?" They're like, "अरे sir, अभी तो announcement हुआ है, अभी application आएगा, फिर वो application को pursue करेंगे, फिर जाके कुछ ये होगा, वो होगा, तब तक आचार संहिता वैसे भी लग जाएगी, गणपति वगैरह हो जाएगा, तो उसके बाद क्या करेंगे? फिर बोलेंगे हाँ हमने अनाउंस कर दिया, बाद में वो मराठा आरक्षण की तरह वही इसका भी वही हाल हो जाएगा. We'll say we made an announcement, हाँ who he, BJP will politically run some propaganda campaign, this, that and etc. तो हमने तो कर दिया. अरे आपका तो registration कुछ कार्ड वार्ड दे देंगे, पैसे तो बिल्कुल नहीं आने. So I was told that the situation is so bad that the scheme won't be operationalized. So even announcing the scheme is one thing. Operationalizing the scheme seamlessly is another thing. So
right, thank you so much, Ruben, for joining us. Great pleasure talking to you. I really and truly hope to see Mr. Arvind Kejriwal walk out of the hard jail after July the 29th. I hope by July 30th, 31st, he is out. I hope Delhi gets its chief minister back.
If that happens, I will take you for a treat, and maybe you can take me for a treat. And
that'll be lovely. I really would like to see Arvind Kejriwal ji back. My point is this: let the procedure go on. Court का जो procedure है वो चलने दीजिए. As Harish Salve himself has said so many times, Harish Salve is not a friend of the Aam Aadmi Party. He himself has said कि भाई एक बार आपने आदमी को अरेस्ट कर लिया, सब कुछ कर लिया, and he is not a flight risk. उसके बाद आप उसको जेल में क्यों डाल रहे हो?
Absolutely.
जेल में काहे को रखा हुआ है उसको यार? मतलब क्या है? ये this is anyway. I hope it happens. Thank you so much, Ruben. Great pleasure. As always.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Pradeep. Thank you, RKB. Good night.
Jai Hind. I hope to God it happens because Delhi needs this chief minister.
You can't keep people in jail for a long time. You talk about the constitution, talks about protecting your personal liberty, and this is exactly opposite what the government is doing.
And let's be very clear. If the BJP feels, at the moment they are in a majority, if the government so feels that Delhi does not need a state government, then get rid of the state government. क्या है? यूनियन टेरिटरी बना दीजिए ना वापस दिल्ली को. एक जमाने में यूनियन टेरिटरी थी, 30 साल तक यूनियन टेरिटरी रही, वापस बना दीजिए. Go back on whatever your own manifesto has said, repeatedly said again and again. आपकी मर्जी है, हटा दीजिए. Let LG Saab look after the entire thing and let there be a chief administrator appointed for Delhi. I don't really understand. Where is the conflict? Get rid of the state government. Get rid of the state assembly. ज़रूरत क्या है? वैसे भी प्रदीप जी, it's a very silly thing. दिल्ली जो है छोटा सा शहर है, एक राजधानी है. उसके अंदर you have the union government, which intervenes in practically everything. Then you have a Delhi state government, and then you have the NDMC, New Delhi Municipal Corporation, and you have a Municipal Corporation of Delhi, MCD वो अलग है, और उसके अलावा एक CPWD है. Sir, ये क्या है?
You got everybody overlapping each other.
That's right. So as a result of which, the whole system has become so complicated. मेरा ये कहना है उसको सिंप्लीफाई कीजिए. अगर दिल्ली को पूरा स्टेट बनाना है तो पूरा स्टेट बना दीजिए, और अगर स्टेट नहीं बनाना है तो let it be a centrally administered territory. Simple.
Exactly.
But there has to be a way out. You can't have this kind of a situation again and again.
You can't have a central rule and a state rule also. And a state rule
and a municipal rule. Yes. Don't forget that. और नई दिल्ली जो है वहां पे एनडीएमसी है सर, न्यू दिल्ली म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन, और बाकी जो दिल्ली है वहां पे म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन ऑफ दिल्ली है, एमसीडी है, उसके अलावा सीपीडब्ल्यू है, सीपीडब्ल्यूडी, ये सेंट्रल पब्लिक वर्क्स डिपार्टमेंट वो अलग है. तो अब कौन पानी सप्लाई करेगा, कौन बिजली सप्लाई करेगा, कौन क्या करेगा, मतलब अजीबोगरीब मसला है. In any event, we'll talk about that later. But at the moment, that's it. That's all we've got for you in tonight's show. आज के शो में प्रदीप जी और मेरी तरफ से आप सब लोग को रिक्वेस्ट है, सब्सक्राइब करें चैनल को. घंटी भी बज गई है. Please do subscribe to the channel. And we'll of course be back with you tomorrow. तब तक के लिए नमस्कार. जय हिंद, जय महाराष्ट्र, जय भवानी, जय शिवाजी, वंदे मातरम.
वंदे मातरम.
जय सिया राम, हर हर महादेव.
हर हर महादेव.